Welcome to this episode of Wristbands Required. We are at the arcade capital of the world, Galloping Ghost, newly renovated, a lot more arcades. We're going to check it out. We're going to do a full tour, what to expect, late spring 2024 at Galloping Ghost. Galloping Ghost does cost $25 for unlimited play. There is a pinball area. Now, at the time of this video, the pinball has not opened, has not opened yet. You get real time, guys. We're getting cars going by, we're getting people coming out of doors. For $30, you can get into the pinball area. I paid the $25. You just present your receipt to come in, to come out. And if you want to decide you want to come back, stay for the pinball, or get here after 3 o'clock, it's $30, or you just pay the extra $5. Galloping Ghost is open every day of the week from 11 to 12, so every day is the same, open year-round. I might be mistaken. I did think the pinball was at the end of this building. It might be at a different building. It might be one of these entrances, but nonetheless, it's not open yet. I'm not sure we're gonna see the pinball, but the tour is gonna be all the arcades, and it's gonna be the renovation, all the news. I thought this would be a perfect time. Doc Mac just opened extra space, filled more arcades in here, and I gotta find out exactly how many arcades are in here. But let's step inside for this episode of Wristbands Required, Galloping Ghost. The most famous hallway coming through these glass doors, where you're just faced with arcades on both your left, your right, and just aisles and aisles of arcades. The front desk where you pay for the admission, you see the ghost hanging, and you're free to roam. You're free to play anything you want. The new pricing is the arcade's $25, the pinball, if you just want to do pinballs, $20, or the combo is $30. So if you get here late enough and you want to do all three of them, I mean, $30 to experience all of that is a pretty good deal. There are some nice merch and some snacks and plenty of restrooms. I just did a walkthrough on kind of get my bearings at the Galloping Ghost, trying to figure out exactly where I'm going. And there's plenty of women's bathrooms, men's bathrooms. We're not here for the bathrooms, but trust me, if you drink a lot of coffee like myself, you'll be safe, because there's plenty of games, plenty of facilities. You could literally spend all day here. And a lot of the arcades are, I pointed this out of my walk and talk, look, this is such a nostalgic movie, such a nostalgic arcade, but a lot of the arcades are kind of grouped together. You see a lot of fighters over here on the other side. I had a lot of fun playing the arm wrestling game. There's stuff here, like the Street Fighter, the movie arcade with Jean-Claude Van Damme, that you're only gonna find at Galloping Ghost. And it just goes on and on. So many arcades that I've never even seen before, like Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Marble Madness, and then you got the Road Blasters. And I know there's gonna be a sit-down Road Blaster somewhere in this arcade. We just gotta find it. I mean, just look at the back side of all these arcades. Dragon Slayer 2, Space Ace. I mean, look at the theming right above here. It is so cool. What a nostalgic arcade. Just takes you right back. Being in the 80s again. Karate Champ, a game that, I mean, if you've never seen Karate Champ before, with the joysticks, like you're using it similar like Smash TV, Robotron 2084, Total Carnage, like the Moon Shuttle. It's a Saturday. Saturdays are their busier days. It's more closer to the actual opening. I've probably been here for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and the place is so big. There's practically 1,000 arcades here, and there's plenty of stuff for people to do. But you're gonna run into some areas that is gonna be tight. Look at Rolling Thunder, Thunder Jaws. Like, there's games that I have never seen before, like Beavis and Butthead. It's great seeing some of this, because you're right back in like 1997 again, like, and then whatever was happening in like 97 or Techno Bowl, it was ever happening that time frame. It's like you're time traveling. Batman Forever, iconic control deck. Like a Mortal Kombat type style, like live action looking arcade players. Like, it's just, never seen this before. It's a special game. It's just these scopes. Like, where do you see this? There's so many games. Just the street we were walking down. I thought that the pinball was further down at that end. I honestly, I don't know. Give the side art of Willow. I think Willow, you know, the test of time has really became more one of those cult classic type movies, you know? But yeah, there's huge racers, and you ask yourself, you know, how did they get these in here? How did they fit some of these arcade cabinets through the door? For real Ghostbusters, you got shooters, you got racers right next to it. Look at the size of Star Wars Trilogy. You gotta wonder if there's like a deal, a season pass for people that come here, or if it's always 25. But it's just, could you imagine like coming here once a month, getting your arcade fix in? Rambo 3, Dynamite Duke. Like, I've never seen a Rambo 3 arcade cabinet before. Super Burger Time? Something that I learned when I walked through here was if you're looking for a cabinet, you won't find it. You'll stumble across something that you really want to see if you're not looking for it. Operation Wolf, Simpsons. I was looking for X-Men, the 6th player, and you know, I stumbled across it. Now I know where it is because I kind of got a little bit of my bearings, but this arcade goes on and on. It's just, this is my favorite arcade cabinet of all time. Everything about this cabinet. And I didn't play this one a lot. I always played the 4-player more. This marquee, like the things you don't like notice when you were a teenager. This marquee is like, it's got to be 55 inches, 60 inches wide. I mean, look at this. Look at the screen. You have the line down the middle. A little bit of different coloring here. Like this is what X-Men was meant to be like. It's unbelievable. What a cabinet. And there's arcades that you get that like theme park feel, like to just step inside of something like this, and you know, it's basically like you're on a ride. So to spend 25 bucks to get all this, to get 1,000 games, 1,000 choices. I mean, you have all the Marvel Capcom type fighters down this aisle. You have Turtles in Time, the OG Turtles right here, and I've stated that it's hard to find Turtles in Time. I always find the OG, and this is the only Turtles in Time. I know it's one of those combo type games, but it's the only one I've seen at an arcade. Like, actually, Turtles in Time is playing right now. You do have that OG artwork, but it's kind of fun seeing Turtles in Time actually playing on the arcade. Return of the Jedi. I know there's a Star Wars here. Not sure about The Empire Strikes Back. I'm guessing there is, but if I was looking for either one of these, I would have never found them. Like, you kind of stumble across it, you get around this mammoth X-Men 6th player, and then you find, you know, Turtles in Time, Atari Return of the Jedi. I mean, just look at that flight, yo. Height of these Capcoms, the big blue type style arcades, like it's huge. It's so cool to see this. And it does get tight, like, you know, people playing, like trying to get through it. You know, you may want to skip breakfast or lunch before you come here. And then these aisles just like randomly show up, so you can keep going down and looking at all the arcades, not knowing what's around the corner. But something that is around the corner is a 3-player Revolution X game. Like, have you ever seen a 3-gun game on Revolution X? I thought it was just a 2-player. That is unbelievable. You have the blue, the yellow, the red. It's a great shooter. There's a boss. Like, to get past that helicopter, like, it would help having 3 players on here. Unbelievable. What an arcade. And just some of these. I mean, I don't know how they fit some of this. Like this is the Road Blasters type game I was looking for. I don't know if they have the sit down, but having, is that Afterburner? A sit down in here is just like going to Disneyland right now, Disney World. It reminds you of like the Kmart vibe of having some of these quarter machines in the lobby as you're walking out of stores, like they're here. Here's the other Star Wars, and I know that there's an Empire Strikes Back somewhere. Like, have you ever seen the backside of Revolution X? A cabinet, a dual cabinet. We saw Turtles and Turtles in Time. We got Bucky O'Hare, G.I. Joe. And G.I. Joe's a really fun game. A lot of people love Bucky O'Hare. You see the 4 players for the Bucky O'Hare G.I. Joe 2-player game, but both coming out 1992. Konami Classics. The only place I've ever seen the original Time Crisis. Unfortunately, Time Crisis is down, but I'm standing in front of an actual Time Crisis. It's easy to see Time Crisis 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, seeing those at other arcades, but very limited actually seeing the OG Time Crisis. I mean, just look at all of these arcades. I mean, just somehow they managed to get them in here. This isn't the only Jurassic Park shooter they have. Maximum Force, Lethal Enforcer is my favorite shooting game. Zombie Raid. It's a ton. Silent Scope, like so many shooters on this side of the room. And then on the other side, look at this, another 4-player shooting game. Operation Gun Blasters. Some of them, you know, you're gonna encounter are out of commission. I mean, there's 1,000 arcades in here. I wonder if there was ever a day like that all are working. Like you run that risk of, you know, things, it's life. If they break down, look at the bench on here. What a huge game. It's just massive. The size of this screen, it's like 72 inches wide. And there's games that you've never seen before. Monster Bash? Well, I've never seen before. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you are like, yeah, we've been here a ton of times, but man, when they renovated, and I heard that they fit more arcades in here. See, another bathroom. So there's other areas of the arcade, plenty of facilities. If you come here, there's a room that has bigger arcades, and I'm trying to find out where that is. I might have to ask an employee exactly where in the arcade they keep that, because I was really interested in seeing it. I want to say it's on this end of the building, but you know, you see the employees only. I'm not sure, and maybe it's like they open at a later time. But when have you seen a Madden arcade machine? Like, we've all played Madden on, like, you know, everything we played Madden on. When have you seen the arcade? Like, it's trying to do a tour and look at all of these arcades. It's just like, it's overwhelming. There's so many here, and there's so many that I have never, first of all, seen before or ever heard of. The first thing they'll tell you at Galloping Ghost, they do have a sample, a small, call it like a New Wave Toys type size arcade, where you hit the red button. This is your credit button. So if you see those red buttons on the arcade, that's what you start with. You press that, and then you're good to go. And every time you need to continue, you hit that button. I've seen Growl before, believe it or not. Like, man, this brings back such nostalgia. There's aisles that, look, there's a trophy, like, there's a trophy at Galloping Ghost, like, could you win that trophy? There's something really special. I gotta find where that cabinet is. It might be in this room, but there is a narc here that has a secret level that only Galloping Ghost has. And these aisles just go on and on and on, and you can keep going, and sometimes you make a turn and that's it. There's a wall and you can't go any further. But I want to find out exactly where those hidden arcades are. I'll have to ask. I've seen I've seen Ninja Turtles, but a Turtles arcade before? They have a Time Pilot. I've never came up to a Time Pilot arcade. I know that there's renders where you can get that game on legacy cabinets, but you know, to see dedicated cabinets. Look at the Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey. You got Strider 2. And somehow they managed to fit a Superbikes Raw Thrills back here in this tight spot along with Stunt Runner. I mean, that is awesome. Look at the flight yoke on this. Some really big shooters over here. I mean, look at the size of Aliens Armageddon. And then the Jurassic Park, like the back of the Jeep. Sega Jurassic Park. You know that Jackie Chan had his own arcade? Kind of reminds me of Law from Tekken. It's Ninja Gaiden. Spy Hunter 2. You have 2 different steering wheels, 2 different gas pedals. Like, look at this screen. You have the line dividing the 2 screens. Like, that is, I've never seen this before. And it does look like Don Johnson. House of the Dead 4. I mean, just look at the machine gun here. This is just wild. Right next to Aliens Armageddon. I mean, there's just the size of these right next to each other. The gun. It's cool how they just sit in there. We have a House of the Dead 2. It's common to see a House of the Dead 2, but to actually see a House of the Dead 1, Operation Wolf 3, the 3rd installment, you had Operation Thunderbolt, Operation Wolf the OG. Look at Steel Gunner. Like, I've never seen a Steel Gunner arcade cabinet. I've played Steel Gunner 1 and 2, but to just see these in person, it's just, you know, super dodgeball. Like, there's a dodgeball arcade cabinet. A Dig Dug, Warlords, Atari Force Liberator. I've never seen this. I've never heard of this before. Centipede, Millipede. Oh, they got a tube in. Look at that waterfall. Something very unique is you see 2 of the same Q*berts, but just different marquees. A little bit of different theming, along with 2 cabinets of Q*bert cubes. Like right next to each other, you have 4 Q*berts. Mad Planets, you have that flight stick, kind of like Gorf and Tron. And a game that I've never seen before, Argus. The trackball. Mappy, look at that marquee. What a classic. Right next to Bad Dudes versus Dragon Ninja. It's a really fun beat 'em up. And Final Fight Revenge from 1999. Yeah, I mean, there's just the Gauntlet Dark Legacy 4-player control deck. Rolling Thunder, like, it's a Rolling Thunder arcade here. Something you don't see every day is Wackos, where everything is on that slant. You see the marquee, the control deck just slants down. Jackal, I remember Jackal from NES. Then they have Super Contra, Commando, like, these were all meant to be right next to each other. Oh, Night Slashers cab. They have Dungeons and Dragons. Like, if you're looking for something, like, I probably came through this aisle 4 or 5 times. Like, I didn't even notice Night Slashers before. I didn't even see Dungeons and Dragons. Like, look at Beastbusters. Sunset Riders, Cowboys of Blue Mesa having combo games, and I can see why, because there isn't much space in this, you know, to have games on the same cabinet like we saw with Turtles. I mean, how do you get every arcade basically on the planet? Look at Food Fight. Let's see if they had the banana. I know there was a banana control right there. Yeah. Spinal Breakers. I thought that was Val Kilmer for a second. Steel Gunner 2. We saw Steel Gunner 1. I love the intro on Area 51. It's hard to just walk past and not play this game. Like, if there's one shooter like everyone could agree on, like, it's Area 51. Such a fun game. It's like, come on, let's go. Operation Thunderbolt, the second installment of Operation Wolf. We saw Operation Wolf 3, the OG. It's cool to see all three of these at Galloping Ghost, Terminator 2. I mean, it's so similar to that Revolution X game, except for that, you know, that third player on there. Like this might be one of the tightest aisles to get through, kind of on the far wall. Maybe I'm trying to get my bearings. I'm guessing that's the south wall. Just trying to get past a couple of people. It's tight. We have a WrestleFest, WWF Superstars. I mean, just something you don't see is that WWF. It's all, you know, WWE. If we saw like a remake of this, you know, we wouldn't get that F anymore. Like it's just like stepping back in time, isn't it? Zookeeper, and then this massive flying game, like 3 screens. Look at this, Sega Strike Fighter. The OG Gauntlet, 4 players, and how tight it is to actually get 4 people to surround this. Like one of the first 4-player control decks you know we've ever seen. There's a row, both left and right, up Neo Geo. Like it's so cool to see all these. Look at all of these big reds. Unbelievable. And there's more Neo Geos here than just this aisle, but I mean, they have so many, they could make an aisle and then some. Whole new area on the other side. Like it's just, you could walk circles all day long, all night long. But I believe, if my memory's correct, right here should be that NARC game. This gentleman is on Smash TV. Yep, Hit the Ice. I've never seen a Hit the Ice cabinet before, but this NARC is a one-of-a-kind NARC. There's a bonus level with the helicopter scene that only Galloping Ghost has. I'm sure you heard the story, but it is this very arcade that you'll come here, you'll play a level that only exists at the Galloping Ghost. Galaxian, Galaga, Rally X, you have a burger time, a Pac-Man combo with Pac-Man, Pac-Man Plus, Ms. Pac-Man. I mean, all your OG, your nostalgic Space Invaders, like all in one row. And then we see the original Spy Hunter. We saw the double steering wheel, the double controls, the screen, and then just the classic Spy Hunter. I just love this. It's just so solid. Like when you see this, it's just solid metal. I mean, it's one of a kind. Robotron 2084, just down the aisle from where that gentleman is playing Smash TV. This is I mean, look at that, Fender Stargate Joust 2, the original Joust. I mean, this is probably, you want to talk nostalgia, like everything down this aisle, timber. You ever seen a timber arcade before? Tapper, Budweiser Tapper. And I've actually seen controls that actually have the Budweiser on there. This one's played probably so much it's probably rubbed off, honestly. I mean, the capital, arcade capital of the world, Tron. Discs of Tron. Look at the black lighting, like, see 2 Trons right next to each other. Journey, like I'm looking at this like Crater Raider. I've never, look how far back that screen looks. Just never seen some of these before. And then Spy Hunter, so like the nostalgia alone just on these aisles. I could spend all day just in this aisle. I mean, look, behind me you have Sinistar, we have Tron over on this other side. This aisle alone is very special. Like, I mean, everything about this arcade is special. It's unique. There's so much here, but just everything here. Like, these are such nostalgic titles, and it's just great how they placed it all in this one aisle. Like, probably, you know, the 85 aisles they have here. Just look at this one. It's unbelievable. It's just so unique. And is a picture of Mr. Big, the final boss from NARC. And I mean, only at Galloping Ghost are you going to see this picture of Mr. Big. It was a pretty hard boss to fight. Like, I mean, just kind of an overview. up this one corner. That, again, there's like 7 other rooms. Where do you start? Like when you do an arcade tour, like when you come here, where do you start? We've all played off-road. The 3 steering wheel off-road, the 3 gas pedals. What a great game. And you see the gentleman on the side with the thumbs up. I mean, everywhere we went in our childhood, we came across an off-road cabinet. Some of the favorite racers out there, pole position 2, pole position 1. Just love the theming on these cabinets. Atari Night Driver. I've never heard of this, but look. Soul Calibur 2. I always loved playing Spawn. I think it was Xbox. I think I had Soul Calibur. I'm not sure which one I had. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Sought after fighting game. Virtual Racer. Like, again, like I have walked through here and I missed so many. They do have a Daytona USA. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever came across Virtual Racer. Like if I had, it was so long ago. Super hang on, like to come in here and just play a motorcycle game. I mentioned in a walk and talk that I did here that these were the games that were at Pizza Hut. Like I would come in, you know, we're waiting for a pizza, you go there to eat, and you know, they had arcades at Pizza Hut back in the day. Death Race, I've never seen a Death Race before. I mean, it's just, what a special cabinet. What unique circus cabinets here. They have rifles on arcades. Chiller. I feel like that Chiller station. Like, I remember watching Chiller, kind of B movies. Like, I'm not big into the horror scene, but you know, if it's kind of campy, kind of goofy, like I'll watch it. But yeah, it reminds me of that station. You know, Super Mario Brothers here, Popeye, love the Popeye theming, the coloring. They have Punch Out, Super Punch Out. I mean, you get that Nintendo grid, that 80s grid, like arm wrestling Nintendo, and then Space Ace, Dragon Slayer 2, Dragon Slayer, and the theming. Something over here is making some, I don't think it's Mousetrap. This Mousetrap looks like it might be, the mouse might have finally been caught. Paperboy, you know, another very unique bicycle handles controller. Spent a lot of time playing this on the Nintendo. They have Assault, special controls. Just look how skinny this is. Like it's a narrow cabinet. They have a 720. Like I've never seen a 720 before. Like how cool would that be to have a boombox on the top of your arcade cabinet? Yeah, look at that. The checkered floor. It was a house we lived in San Diego that the kitchen had the checkered floor. Like it was so 80s. You know, the skateboard. Speaking of 80s, I mean, we all had a skateboard. I think it was Michael J. Fox in Back to the Future that got us all wanting to go on skateboards. Theming on Xevious, like some of that bezel looks like it's coming at you, but it's flat. Look at the backing here. This would be, I like the game. I've played the game. I just haven't played it on the actual arcade, and just I didn't even notice it next to Paperboy. Like you see Paperboy, you see the bike handles, and then Xevious right next to it. Road Blasters. So this might be the only Road Blasters here. Of course, we're not through with the tour. We'll find out. But yeah, Indiana Jones, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote. Well, they had their own arcade machine. Rat Pack and Stunt Cycle. Battle Zone, like, it's just so cool. Just going into that scope, the controllers, and they got the ledge. Actually, this one's a little loose, so gotta be careful here. But yeah, it's great for kids being able to stand on that ledge. Such a unique, look at that volcano button, a unique arcade cabinet. It's always rare finding an Asteroids Deluxe. They got them right next to each other. You see those control decks, and then Blastroids, like right after another, all three. This gentleman just brought up the Red Baron. Might actually have been around long enough that anyone in the original World War I, World War II would have actually been able to play this game. Like this is an old game. When did you think this was from?
Well, it's from 1983.
From 1983, like the Red Baron. Like if you ever came up and played this. I was just informed that the Red Baron was indeed from 1980. Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins. Like first time, you know, seeing these right next to each other. And it's just like, you have the argument, like, do you like Ghosts and Goblins better, or you like Ghouls and Ghosts? I always mix these up, and I want to say that, which one's newer? Is it Ghosts and Goblins? Is Ghosts and Goblins the newer? So 1985, and you know, I love when they show the year on the marquees, but something tells me Ghosts and Goblins might be the older of the two. An Altered Beast. What a game. Like playing this as a kid on the Sega. Just the theming on here, like again, there's just something to be said about Sega and that marquee. I'm a sucker for Sega, the original Golden Axe arcade. They had Death Adder, Revenge of Death Adder. I don't know if I got it on shot. I'm actually gonna turn around. I just Police, Cyber Police, E-Squad, Sega. Just seeing Sega titles, I am a sucker for them. I just thought of Superman the arcade. I gotta remind myself to find Superman the arcade while we're here, but Golden Axe, Revenge of Death Adder should just be right around the corner. You can just see a lot of the people filling up in this room. But I kind of did miss a couple of the Nintendos. You had the Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, and the original Mario Brothers. And if my memory is correct, right around the corner should be the Revenge of Death Adder. Nope, I'm gonna have to keep looking for it. We found it. They have both Golden Axe Revenge of Death Adder, and the OG game, classic 4-player game, right next to the real Ghostbusters. I'm not sure if we got the real Ghostbusters yet, because there's just so many arcades, and they do have a Spider-Man. They have Sega Spider-Man, another favorite of mine. Unfortunately, Sega Spider-Man is out of commission today, but yeah, that side art, for all you Marvel fans out there, I mean, look at the Green Goblin. All these racers, you have Crazy Taxi, Cruisin' World, Chicago 1929, like, you ever heard of Chicago 1929? Rush, Arctic Thunder, and you literally gotta climb over an arcade. They have a load-bearing wall, like right here. Trying to get through, it's so tight. And my buddies Skids and Lauren have found me. I'm just kind of doing circles over here. They have Afterburner, Sega All-Stars Racing, Sonic. Like, Skids, how do you think they got all these arcades in here? Like, how do they fit some of these?
I don't know. It's a lot of muscle, I guess, because these things are heavy and there's a ton of them packed in.
It's unreal. I mean, look at trying to get through this.
Yeah.
This aisle. I was starting to come back to look for you. Yeah, they got Willow right there.
It's overwhelming, really. I mean, like, you have to stop and, like...
Empire Strikes Back, so they have all three of them here. Like, they had 2 stand-ups, The Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, and then... Yeah, that is awesome. Could you imagine having this? This is...
Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
It's awesome.
It's kind of chewed up, but
hey, it's still...
a relic.
I mean, a relic from the past.
It's a survivor.
Next to Willow. Glad Skids and Lauren found me, because I was going back. I got confirmation that the new area is over in this corner, so I'm working my way back to where we walked in, and they just came from that way. It's a Three Stooges cabinet. Look at this. Look at the theming here. We got Larry, Moe, and Curly. Zerko, Frenzy, right next to each other. And just taking it in. Just taking in these vibes here. Just the sounds coming from the Three Stooges. Like, look at the gameplay.
Oh, a white guy,
And just comparing like the 4-player deck on the original Gauntlet to Gauntlet Legends, like they spaced them out a little bit better. Like, you see how the improvements were made. Like, it's like a history lesson you're getting at the Galloping Ghost. Right past the front desk by this mammoth WWF. This is the new addition, so this whole area, the carpet was newer. They had the Contra Revolution. I wasn't sure if this was the spot or if it was further in the back, but yeah, everything at this end is all new. Like, this whole space, so whatever number of arcades they had, they literally fit like 40, 50 more arcades in here. Like, and they gotta be close to 1,000 arcades. Look at Thief, some of these titles. Ring King, and then it goes all the way to this other back. So this was like the grand opening, like literally less than a week ago, Doc Mack revealed the new edition. And that's why I wanted to do the Wristbands Required, the tour of Galloping Ghost, because this is new. We had to check it out. We got to come here and see everything new that this arcade has to offer. Standing in the back corner, so everything going out. This is all new. You can see the ceiling like this. This is awesome. Now before we leave, I want to find out like the actual, here it is, there's Superman. So finally, I figured Superman would be back here. It has been forever since I stood in front of a Superman arcade before. Actually, the same family restaurant I used to go to had Superman, it had Captain America, the Avengers. And those are the only places I ever saw either one of these arcades. And the funny thing about Superman is the Player 2, you gotta hit the red button. The Player 2 was actually supposed to be Shazam. Looks like the game's kind of froze. Actually, you can be, okay. I guess Player 2's not working, but we got Superman. Shazam actually was Player 2. They just couldn't get the rights, so they kept it as a red-looking Superman. But yeah, this is my favorite Superman game. So in the newer edition, like back, we were standing right here, the back corner. This is gonna lead to the outside. Alarm's gonna go into the parking lot. Gentlemen did let me take a sneak peek at the Sega R360. Like, it is behind this door. I was asked not to film, but it was awesome. There was a couple other huge, I mean, it was massive. This is something you'd see at like, you know, Tomorrowland's arcade. Like, if you come here, Ninja Clowns. Like, have you ever seen a Ninja Clowns? You actually stood in front of a Ninja Clowns arcade cabinet. Caveman Ninja. Like, the Caveman Ninja, the Ninja Clowns, and then the Sega, the Mammoth, the biggest. It's just awesome. I mean, I was lucky to see it. Bionic Commando. You know what? Honestly, I didn't know if there was actually Bionic Commando arcade. Like, I knew it was for Nintendo, but you know, the games they have here, it's just Gladiator. It's just awesome. Double Dribble. And yeah, behind this room, a couple of us got a sneak peek. It was awesome. It was all new. You know, the ceiling, everything was painted. Fresh carpeting. Maybe the next time we come, we'll be able to see more, but you know, seeing some of these like Superman, I mean, it's just taking a step back in time. It's a special place. If you've never been here before, I recommend definitely stopping, especially to see this new renovation. It's worth the trip. I'm gonna be back here again. There's gonna be more Galloping Ghosts in the future. Looking forward to the Pinball Expo. I know a lot of us will be back here and we'll all partake in some of these arcades, and I know a lot of guys that have never seen this before are absolutely gonna love this place because there isn't anything they really don't have here. There's a fire truck arcade. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? Like, look at this thing. Like, look at, you know, if you're standing out here, like, I don't know how much you can actually see. You know, you kind of have this netting here. You probably can't really look in, like it's probably dark. Like, I'll see if these people can see when they're walking by. Like, I'll wave to them, like, can you see me? He waved. So they can see. So I don't know, I guess you can look in here and kind of sneak peek at some of these arcades. But yeah, this is the new edition, and it just opened less than a week ago as recording of this video. definitely come by here. Bloody Wolf. Check this place out. Yeah, look at the size of Konami Contra Evolution. They even have 2 chairs here to sit in front of. On the other side are most of the fighters. You have the Mortal Kombat. There's a space here. I'm guessing Mortal Kombat 2. Maybe they're moving in another one. You have Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 4, Killer Instinct, and Killer Instinct 2, NBA Jam Tournament Edition. I'm guessing NBA Jam OG or Hang Time was right next to here. So they're kind of shuffling some around. This game, the grid, you can connect all of these together. Like, how many players can they get on the grid? They have the keypad, they have the trackball. I've never played the grid, I've never seen these, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Right in the front, the huge WWF Sega Royal Rumble. And something you may have never seen. Now, I remember these from my childhood, birthday party destinations. Like, these have been here for a while, and I'm glad that the Holosseums are still here, the hologram. I've never really got into these, but it was always fun to walk up to them and just watch it, because it's just like watching a movie. Like, they had a ton of these, kind of like a wizard theme. But yeah, really, really cool. And then this back area, we're at the far end, is something really creepy. And look how tight these aisles are. Like, the arcade just goes on, and it's just, there's so much stuff, but you can see how it gets darker in the back. You have Gyrus, Dwarf, and that plate sticks, just like Tron. But you get back here, there's another aisle to go out in the other part of the arcade, a hammer away. But right here, the Silent Hill. There's someone in there. It's kind of an eerie back corner. Kind of a creepy, but it's great theming how they did it, because it gets so dark. And you know, the 2 games that are back here, like, you can go in, play these shooters. Like, hey, you're kind of close off to the world back here. I walked up to this going, what am I walking up to? Like, Silent Hill next to spiders. Just kind of an eerie arcade. Like, perfect spot to put that. And just look at these aisles. Look how skinny this is. It's like, have you ever seen this before? This entrance to the right will take us back to kind of like the main area. And I was informed by one of the employees that there is 980 arcades in this arcade. Like, 980. That is incredible. And from just walking around, as hard as it is to believe, just having a few open spots, they could fit 1,000. They could get 1,000 arcade cabinets at Galloping Ghost. Like, think about that. That is crazy. And that Captain America and the Avengers, just that and Superman, like, bring me back as a kid. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you had fun watching the tour. I'll see you guys next time. Found Skids and Lauren playing the best arcade ever. You gotta see the new renovation. You gotta come to Galloping Ghost if you've never been here before. It's taken me 45 years to come here, and I'm glad I made the trip. 980 cabinets. Galloping Ghost. And most aisles are just jam-packed with people.
It's really overwhelming. It's like, you don't even know where to look. You almost have to walk around, get your bearings, and then decide what you want to play.